Alright everyone, before we begin, I would like to give a special shout out to our newest patron, Arphemius, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you so much, I really do appreciate it. You're fantastic, good sir, or madam. I don't want to assume your gender. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled program. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Satirical News, the show where the line between shit I make up and real life is eerily hard to distinguish. I'm your host, Peepa, and today life is a meme, and by God, it needs to be put under review. For our first story, motherfucking zombie deer, and this is why I keep telling everyone I need to be able to legally own a minigun. According to the article, you can spot the mark of the beast by the drastic weight loss of the animal, lack of coordination, listlessness, and their insatiable hunger for human flesh. The CDC says scientists believe the contagious disease is passed between animals through bodily fluids, proving conclusively that I was not crazy when I said the end of the world would come about due to deer having unprotected sex and sharing their dirty needles, those dirty, filthy heathens. The article goes on to state that just because they bite you, maybe you shouldn't bite them back, as there's no proof that you'll contribute to the disease going cross-species, but they're also not saying that it won't. They also provide us with a map where these signs of the end times have been reported. We here at Satirical News suggest that if you live in any of these affected areas, to hope like hell that your state hasn't slowly been stripping away your Second Amendment rights. Now, I don't know about you, but personally, I'll be taking my AR-15 out and cleaning that sexy sumbitch and trying to recruit the squirrels, because when the time comes, I want to know where their loyalties lie. Now that we're on the topic of guns and animals, our next headline reads, Man points gun at Disney guests in fight for disabled parking space at Animal Kingdom, report says. Oh yeah, baby, that's right. Apparently it's alleged that an elderly man pointed a handgun at a couple during a dispute over a parking space for the disabled at the Disney's Animal Kingdom, according to Orange County Sheriff's records. The old man, interestingly enough, wasn't arrested due to conflicting stories over the event. This story seems to start out like most parking lot confrontations. Someone was waiting for a parking spot to open, and when it did, some other asshole decided he wanted it more than the person waiting. Said old dude, reportedly waiting for the spot, raised his fist in anger. The other elderly gentleman saw this threatening gesture and decided it would just be easier to point a gun at him rather than to mix words. But then again, we're talking about reports from senior citizens, and it turns out that gun may have been a wallet, effectively turning this into yet another debate as to whether we should have higher standards when handing out a license and letting those with failing eyesight to drive large boxes of heavy steel at high speeds on the road with the rest of us. Our last story for the day comes to us all the way over from the mystical land of China. The headline reads, Scientist defends controversial cloning of gene-edited monkeys. Because when the zombie deer finally decide it's time to launch an all-out offensive, by God, we're going to need those super genetically modified monkeys to lend us a hand. Did you all not see the Planet of the Apes? Those bastards could swing from trees and fire assault rifles. The article starts out by stating, the monkey clones are clearly not well, exhibiting signs of anxiety, depression, and schizophrenia-like behaviors. Clearly they're poisoning the well and trying to ruin my battle plans for fending off the zombie deer. The squirrels will hear of your treachery, I tell you. Some in the scientific community, however, question something ethics. I say, by God, I say no price is too high to pay for my army of talking battle apes. An interview with a new scientist, Heng Chengjiang, that's right, I'm fancy like that. You're all jealous, I know. Of the Institute of Neuroscience in Shanghai, notes that these monkeys are pretty much used for experiments everywhere. It's totally legal, bro. He clearly states that monkey lives matter too, and what he's doing will actually cause less of them to be tested on because they'll have less genetic variation, and the results of testing will be more meaningful. The article goes on, I guess, or whatever. It just goes on to talk about some issues and problems, but we decided that was just a bunch of naysaying, and the salvation of the human race from the hordes of undead deer is a much more pressing matter than if you spilt genetics along the path to victory. Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I certainly do hope that you did enjoy this episode of the Satirical News. And I hope that you've been red-pilled on the growing threat of zombie deer and the serious threat it poses to all of humanity. Seriously, buy more guns and ammunition. We've got to hold out until the super monkeys arrive to back us up. Don't forget to vote on the bill that I'll be proposing later on to funnel all the old people, all the old drivers with license into the roads with the deer crossing signs. Do your part before it's too late. Oh, well, that was fun. Seriously, you have no idea how many articles of pet-related junk and 10 new ways. These 10 new ways will change your life forever that I had to sift through. Thankfully, though, I found a headline with zombies and old people wielding guns, though. Seriously, though, if you would actually like to know more about these articles I used, links will be down in the description, as always. And if you happen to be a hunter like me, you enjoy killing gold little creatures and frying them up and eating them, do take the bit about the deer seriously. Never try to mess with a deer that looks sickly or it's acting really weird. If you do hunt, you know that if an animal's acting weird or whatever, it probably has rabies and you need to stay away. Just, if you see it in a wild animal acting weird or coming up to you, don't touch them and get away from it. And because I know someone out there is might possibly lose his shit about the whole monkey bit I did, I know some people out there have super soft spots for monkeys and animals in general. My opinion on the matter is, yeah, you may not like it, but I'm actually kind of okay with some animal testing and such, so long as it's not, overtly cruel and senseless. I do think we need some testing to advance treatments and the like for the betterment of mankind, and I would rather they check, these things out on mice or monkeys before they go poking and prodding on actual people. And my opinion on probably the more controversial part of the video, genetic testing. Now, there's some subjects where I'm kind of, there's just like there's two parts of me. I'm torn between the two things, right? On the one hand, I think that you maybe shouldn't go around screwing with the genetics and stuff. Maybe let nature be nature. But on the other hand, I'm a little curious to know what could we actually do with it. It's one of those things where you really can't say whether it's a bad or good thing objectively until you see the end results. Like, if we end up with Planet of the Apes shit because we start screwing with monkey genetics, you might be like, I told you it was a bad idea. But if we end up curing cancer, you might be like, I told you that was a good idea. I know that there are a lot of people out there who have very strong feelings either way. Personally, me, I've kind of split on it. I mean, on the one hand, but on the other, if you have a particularly strong opinion or argument for either or, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. But that's enough of my opinion. All that being said, I do hope that you did enjoy the video. Another shout out yet again to our newest patron and to those who already support the channel. It really does help out, and I really do appreciate it. Whether you donate a little, you share the video out there, you hit the like button, leave a comment, or if you just simply watch the stuff I put together out there. I really do appreciate it. I can't say that enough, and thank you all. Also, if you would like to make sure that you get notified when a new video goes up, I hear tell that there's a little bell icon that's supposed to do something. But we're talking about YouTube here, so God knows. If you want, you can follow me over on Minds, Twitter, and BitChute. On Twitter and Minds, I always post up the thumbnails ahead of time. So, usually after I get done, putting everything together on the video, I make the thumbnail and then I render it. I post the thumbnail basically then. And then later on, I'll announce when a new video is up. And I was going to do the gab.ai thing yesterday, but apparently you needed an invitation, and I'm not privy to such a thing, so maybe I'll check it out and post some stuff up there if I ever get my hands on one of those. Anyway, I think that's about enough of me for the day. Once again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. But until then, remember, keep fighting stupidity wherever you may find it. Have a good one.
first me, and I'm here to add to the runtime so we can go past 10 minutes. While you're here, please check out some of the thingies on the screen. Unless Captain forgot to put them here. That lazy bastard.